wanted to experience fighting games on my PlayStation 5 with the best, most competitive arcade controller I could find at an affordable price. This is my journey as I discover the world of leverless fight controllers. For those of you new to the channel, I'm Anton, a power engineer, industrial mechanic, and a Red Seal electrician. We cover all kinds of products and topics in an approachable way for the average everyday person. I'm glad you found us. Hello and welcome back to Gears and Tech. I actually commissioned this Fightbox F6 Gen 5X arcade controller. So today we're gonna find out what makes it so special, have a peek inside, and we're even gonna hook it up to my PlayStation 5 and give it a quick test. Now first I wanna have a look at what's inside this thing because I haven't even seen it yet. I had it custom. I said, guys, you make custom graphics for these things, surprise me with something really cool for the channel, and wow. So this has a custom artwork on it. I gotta get stuff out of the way. It's got a USB cord that looks quite long, probably about 10 feet. It does have some propaganda here which tells you how to use it, which I don't normally read, but I am looking at the back and it shows you a special feature that we will cover as we test this thing. The manual is actually quite good, so it does tell you how to use it, what all the buttons do, touchpad share, and how to connect up. So we'll try that and test it out, but I want to get this thing out of the plastic here so that I can see how this thing feels. Now, that looks really good. In fact, when you get it out of the plastic, it looks even better. And there's buttons on the side, buttons on the top, USB. It does say Fightbox on here. Now, that's really cool. They even got the channel logo on here. Gears and Tech, matching my shirt with a little yellow embossed over there. Some generic graphics on there. Now you can make any kind of inlay that you want. I asked them to do it because I didn't want to just get a blank one. Who doesn't want a cool custom artwork graphic on there? I'm gonna actually, when I'm not using it, I might stick it over here where we can keep an eye on it all the time. Now the aesthetic, it's just the casing. So what good is a controller that looks good but doesn't function good? So what does this leverless design actually give you? The competitive edge of this controller comes down to 3 crucial and very technical components, plus a bonus feature that makes it way more versatile than you might originally think. First, let's talk about the brain. What's inside this thing? What makes it tick?
They're in the computer? In the computer.
This Fightbox F6 Gen 5X uses the Brook Gen 5X fighting board. If you know anything about the modern arcade controllers, you know Brook is the gold standard for compatibility and speed. The Gen 5X is critical because it ensures flawless compatibility with next-gen consoles, specifically the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, PC, and even the Switch 2. It also will support older hardware like the PlayStation 4, the other Xbox Series, and the Switch 1. And it has really fast response. You press a button and the character on the screen reacts before your brain even fully registers the input. It's that tiny fraction of time that top level players obsess over, and the Brook Gen 5X chip is what makes that possible. It's the engine that wins the race. Okay, so the engine is fast, but what about the actual buttons? How does it feel when you touch it? Now this one's special in that it has the typical WASD key layout on here. So you can get some that have like an actual stick, but this one uses keyboard keys. These are using Cherry MX Silver mechanical key switches. So these are the same kind you find on high-end keyboards. The caps are removable and you can always throw different ones on there. And I think you can even pop the key switches themselves out if you needed to. Over to the other side here, we have Sanwa OBS F24 and OBS F30 buttons. So we've got the big buttons, and then around on the side, we've got some smaller buttons for your R3, L3, your share and select buttons, and then over here, and then these are your main face buttons. Now this mixes the best of both worlds. You've got hyper fast Cherry switches and the Sanwa switches for actions. It makes this crazy fast arcade controller. And the keen observer may have noticed 2 little nubs down here. It actually has analog thumbsticks here, which is just like what you'd see on your PlayStation 5 controller. The cool thing here, they made the hole big enough that you can actually pop the cap right off. So if you wanted to get different thumbsticks that were maybe a little bit taller or adjustable height thumbsticks, thumbsticks, you don't have to disassemble the controller to swap those. They just pop right off, and then new ones pop right back on. This actually unlocks a whole new world of gaming because in theory, any game that you can play with a PlayStation 5 controller, you could now play with this. Now, obviously, the button layouts are not going to be very good for many games. They're counting on you being able to hit those buttons with extra fingers, but you could, in theory, get a thumb on there. I don't know. I think you could do it. So there's probably some games out there that you guys might think would work well with this. Post in the comments a game that you want to see me try to play with those thumbsticks, and we'll give it a try in a different video. Who knows? There might be some surprise games that work really remarkably well with those analog sticks. Now, before we hook this thing up, we need to talk about SOCD, or simultaneous opposite cardinal directions. Now, stick with me here. On a normal stick, and I've got, stick with me here. Now on a normal stick, if I press left, for example, and then I go right, there's a moment there where I go from left to center to right. It is impossible to press left and right at the same time. But if I have key binds for left and right, as you can see, I can push both at the same time. In fact, I could push all four at the same time, and that is impossible if you're using a stick. So they had to come up with some way to decide which input wins in that scenario, because it can't do left and right at the same time. It's just not allowed. So this is why we need the simultaneous opposite cardinal directions. Those of you who do tournament play, they have their own set of rule set about what to do in those situations. They have an SOCD cleaner, which resolves the conflicting inputs. The most common standard is neutral, which means pushing left and right at the same time will do nothing. This is required for competitive fairness. Now, this controller will normally boot up in mode 1, which means left and right neutral, but any combination of pressing up and down at the same time would result in the controller registering an up input. Now, this is totally adjustable by just holding down the left, the right, the down, or the up as you boot or plug in the controller. So it can cycle between all four different modes depending on which button you push while you're turning it on. And the button that you push will depend largely on the tournament that you play in, because they will have specific requirements about which rule set you're using. If you are new to the genre, you need to understand if you would play in a tournament, which one it would be, and which SOCD mode you should be learning to play in, because it can have an effect on how exactly you play your game. Now, this is a technical detail that is very important, and it allows this controller to be tournament ready and ranked for tournament play. Not all controllers support the SOCD, so you actually would not be able to play with those in a tournament. So it's beneficial to get a controller that supports it, because why would you want to practice with something you can't use if you ever were in a tournament, or get some sort of an advantage over someone who's playing with a tournament ready device? It's really important that this rule set will actually help prevent you from getting accidentally disqualified. Now, we've already established that this is a fight game legend, but I broke this surprise because I wanted to tell you guys about it. But there's that extra feature that makes this thing a game changer. Wait, what? Yeah, that's right. Dual analog sticks. This thing is crazy. We already broke the news on that, so you guys aren't too surprised. But if you skipped ahead and missed it, yes, this thing has two fully featured analog sticks here that allow you to play games that you wouldn't otherwise play with a fight controller. And now all of a sudden it opens up a whole world of possibilities. And obviously you're not going to use this to go exploring through Hyrule, but you could if you wanted to. We've got my PlayStation 5 hooked up to the monitor. We'll just turn this on, and I think it'll auto switch. Now, it's asking for a controller to be plugged in, so I should be able to just plug this in. I guess it plugs in the back. And then let's power this guy up like this. There we go. Now, it's picking it up. We're gonna get my favorite game going, Street Fighter 5. Now, I kinda lied. Street Fighter 2 is the one that I actually know. So that's what we're gonna play. And I always play Ken. Yeah, barely took any damage on CPU level 0. I normally play on controller, and I'm easily able to adapt to the WASD buttons versus stick. So I mean, I'm having no problem hitting the combos. Biggest thing is the buttons. They're right where I expect them to be, and everything. The nubs are actually working. I mean, I could try playing a game with the analog stick, because I think it'll work. I'm not going to be as good, though, because I'm able to tap these so much faster. We'll use this more like a controller stick here. I was wondering if you could put a thumbstick on here to make this taller. Like, I can't even hit my... Oh, there, I got it. It's easier for me to hit it over here. Look at that. That's so much... Yeah, between the two, I definitely like using the keys much better than I like using the analog sticks. Yeah. Now, as you can see, I'm not that good, but I think it makes me look better than I actually am, because this is not normally this good. For someone who knows the basics of a fight stick, the leverless design can take a little bit of getting used to. Obviously, using keys here instead of an actual fight stick, it will take a little bit of learning curve. But a lot of you guys are using custom controllers that have either the WASD setup or buttons that just look like this over here for your movement. And there's some crazy designs out there. So it's worthwhile getting used to this because the leverless design can unlock a lot of functionality that you wouldn't otherwise have, which lets you carry out moves much quicker if you're limited to using an actual stick. Now, some people might consider that cheating, but that's where the SOCD modes come in because they are tournament rated. You're not breaking the rules, you're following the rules as long as you're in line with the SOCD requirements for whatever tournament you would be playing in. The combination of the Brook Gen5X for lightning fast latency, the intelligent mixing of Sanwa and Cherry MX switches for tactile speed, and the SOCD cleaner for competitive legality makes this a seriously powerful piece of kit. And of course, the custom artwork is just the cherry on top. Now, this is for those of you who have hit a skill ceiling using your regular DualSense controller or any other handheld controller and are just looking for more of an authentic experience. Or for those of you who have a fight controller and you're looking for something new, this one certainly looks cool to me. As you saw from my hands-on testing, it's quite impressive. The learning curve is real, but the tactile advantage is undeniably there. Let me know what you guys think. Have you made the switch to a leverless controller? Are you sticking on the traditional one? I want to hear about it. If there's other controllers you think we should give a try, let me know because I'd love to grab one of those and give it a try and see how it compares to this guy. Hey, thanks for watching all the way to the end of this video. We hope you enjoy the content in this video and we'd love to have you come back. Consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. And for those subscribers who are looking for that extra special thing that you can do to support this channel, consider joining our members group. That's where we're building this community, the Gears and Tech community, where we can all enjoy content together. You'll get special perks, which we'd love for you to check out by clicking the link down below. For those of you who are just happy to watch the video, that's okay too. You can check out some of our other content right over here, where we've got some previous videos that have already been uploaded and enjoyed by many of our viewers already. We do hope to see you again. This has been Gears and Tech. Have a great day.